Welcome back to From the Shadow to the Light, a sacred space where we delve into the depths of the human experience and the profound journey of personal transformation. Hi, I'm Debbie Gill, your guide on this transformative exploration. In episode 8, Banging My Head Against a Brick Wall, we dive into the illusions and realities of change and the hard lessons learned when external successes fail to heal internal wounds. Life often feels like a relentless challenge where we repeatedly encounter obstacles that test our resolve and capacity for growth. For many, stopping a destructive habit like drinking seems like a direct path to regaining control and happiness. Yet, my story reveals a more complex truth. While I successfully navigated the external world of professional success and accolades, internally I struggled with unresolved conflicts and the ghosts of past traumas. This episode is an invitation to look beyond the surface of recovery and success to explore the more profound transformations required for true healing. It's about understanding that sometimes we feel trapped, banging our heads against a brick wall, not realizing that the path to freedom lies in changing our actions and our entire perspective and approach to life. As we explore these themes, I encourage you to reflect on your own barriers and breakthroughs. Think about the times you felt stuck and consider what it takes to move forward. It's often not about stopping something harmful, but the continuous, frequently challenging process of starting something profoundly healing. Join me as we navigate these intricate narratives of struggle, success, pain, and perseverance. Together, we will uncover the powerful transformations that occur when we stop banging our heads against the wall and start carefully dismantling it, brick by brick, with awareness, patience, and resilience. So, let's commence this sacred journey together, bound by our own shared search for healing and wholeness. Navigating professional challenges as a dry drunk. Being hired by a multinational epoxy flooring company, where my job was to sell the floors and supervise an installation crew, was a defining moment in my career. However, navigating a professional environment filled with gender biases while wrestling with the internal battles of being a dry drunk was grueling. My journey in the male-dominated construction field tested my professional capabilities and magnified my personal struggles. One of the early milestones of my career was an exhilarating and formidable time. I remember vividly the day I submitted a $125,000 purchase order to install an epoxy floor in a magnetic cell room for a local chemical company. This was not just a job, but the culmination of over 9 months of hard work and determination. The reward? $25,000 commission. In today's money, that's over $56,000. It was a peak moment in my career, a true highlight. However, this success was shadowed by experiences that revealed the stark realities of gender bias in my industry. Once, just before that big project, I sat through a mandatory safety video with my crew of 6 men. In the middle of what was supposed to be a professional presentation, the video shifted unexpectedly to a scene with a topless woman, included solely to ensure that the boys were awake. The safety director even joked about it. I was appalled and felt demeaned and marginalized. Another poignant instance of this bias occurred during a conversation with the maintenance director of a prestigious college. As I explained how to pitch the kitchen floor to the drain, an essential aspect of the installation, he abruptly turned away. He addressed a male crew member who lacked the knowledge to answer. Despite my expertise, the director ignored my contributions, speaking only to my less informed colleague. This wasn't just a moment of professional frustration, but a profound blow to my identity as a competent and knowledgeable professional. It underscored the pervasive gender bias that could trivialize my achievements and skills. The anger inside of me boiled. It was a result of the wounded child and threatened to explode. It was next to impossible to keep it contained in the moment. As soon as I reached my car, I exploded. Reflecting on these experiences opens a window into the complexities of professional advancement, especially as a woman in a male-dominated field. I was constantly reminded that it was a man's world, leaving me questioning my place and value in the industry. Have you ever achieved something significant in your career only to find your success overshadowed by biases or discrimination? How did that make you feel? Can you recall a situation where you had to prove yourself over and above your colleagues due to biases? How do you maintain your self-worth in environments that test your confidence and question your capabilities? Personal relationships and self-discovery. While navigating significant professional challenges, my personal life was equally complex, marked by an intense and destructive pattern of relationships. I found myself caught in a passionate affair with Sly Fox, a truck driver, while also involved with Chris, a drummer in a jazz band. This period was deeply influenced by my addiction to love, which proved as compelling as any substance abuse. My relationship with Sly Fox began under seemingly innocuous circumstances, a chance encounter sparked by a broken CB radio antenna. However, it quickly escalated into a full-blown emotional roller coaster, becoming a substitute addiction that filled the void left by other substances, with temporary highs and inevitable lows. Each interaction with Fox brought an exhilarating high that I craved, mirroring the intoxicating effects of the methamphetamine I was using. Despite the initial excitement, the relationship was fraught with deep-seated issues, my fear of being alone and my incessant need for emotional validation. Simultaneously, my connection with Chris provided a different type of comfort, grounded in shared interests and moments of camaraderie. Yet, this relationship also brought to light my tendency to fix someone, reflecting my underlying issues of low self-esteem and a deep-seated fear of abandonment. The affair with Fox ended in betrayal, leaving me feeling broken and devalued. This painful conclusion forced me to confront my relationship patterns, constantly seeking validation from others and using relationships as emotional crutches. This turning point was crucial, propelling me toward genuine self-discovery and the beginning of true healing. Reflecting on this tumultuous time, it's clear that my relationship with Fox was a manifestation of my ongoing battle with addiction, where personal connections became intertwined with my compulsive behaviors. This phase of my life forced me to confront the harsh realities of my dry drunk state, not just abstaining from alcohol, but deeply entangled in other destructive habits. Have you ever found yourself in relationships that mirrored other dependencies or addictions in your life? How do you cope with the fear of being alone or the need for constant emotional validation? What steps have you taken to address patterns of dependency in your relationships, and how have these steps influenced your personal growth? The seeker archetype and the quest for self-discovery. Guided by the seeker archetype, I embarked on a profound journey through self-discovery, driven by a relentless search for meaning and change. Despite numerous attempts and setbacks, I remained in the shadow, constantly seeking truth in the external world. My path was marked by a relentless quest to unravel the puzzle of my own life, often falling short but never ceasing to try. I initially turned to religion in my quest for answers, immersing myself in the study of the Bible concordance and embracing the teachings of the power for living to become born again. However, these efforts did not yield the enlightenment I sought. I remained stubborn, rude, and self-centered, and full of self-loathing, highlighting the profound struggle between my aspirations for change and the reality of my internal state. As my spiritual journey continued, I explored various authors' interpretations of truth, each offering a different perspective on life's big questions. Carolyn Mace's concept of the lost soul resonated deeply. I was indeed a lost soul, searching for truth outside of myself, unaware that the real answers lay within. This internal battle between the seeker and the addict was intense. despite my efforts to fill the void with spirituality and self-help, the black hole in the pit of my stomach persisted. My relationship with Chris, where we juxtaposed reading the Bible with doing cocaine, highlighted the contradictions in my life. I struggled to communicate my feelings and feared rejection, a fear magnified by my father's warnings never to depend on a man. Just like my relationship with alcohol, I was powerless over my relationships with others. Rooted deeply in fear, I could not control my behavior. I suffered from low self-esteem, was starved for love, and lived under a heavy cover of guilt and shame. My actions became a cycle of insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Have you ever felt like a seeker, constantly searching for answers or trying to fill the void within yourself? How has this quest influenced your relationships and personal growth? In what ways have your attempts at self-help or spiritual exploration revealed deeper issues you were not initially aware of? How do you cope with the realization that change is an internal process and that external solutions might not always provide the answers you seek? The first Saturn return, a time of existential transformation. My journey through the tumultuous waves of my first Saturn return began as I neared the end of my 20s. This astrological phase, a period of significant life reevaluation and challenge, thrust me into a deep existential crisis. During this time, I started to question the paths I had chosen and the values I held dear. The pressure to reevaluate my relationships with authority figures and to develop a new relationship with spirituality was overwhelming. Each decision seemed more consequential than the last, as if the universe itself was urging me to strip away the inessentials and focus on what truly mattered. This phase was not just about changing careers or ending relationships. It was about discovering who I was beneath all the roles I played. During this period, I felt the weight of every choice in the presence of Saturn as a stern teacher, guiding me through painful but necessary lessons about responsibility and hard truths. How have you navigated the pressure to change or evolve during significant life transitions? What coping mechanisms have you found effective? Reflect on a time when you deeply needed to question or alter your path. What drove these changes, and how have they shaped who you are today? Navigating health challenges. Ocular convergence spasms. A decade after my life-altering encounter with lightning, I began experiencing mysterious and distressing symptoms. My eyes would cross involuntarily, accompanied by disorienting seizure-like twitches. These physical manifestations were not just alarming, but symbolic of the ongoing turmoil within me. Seeking answers, I turned to a neurologist who recommended a comprehensive 24-hour EEG. This test would record the electrical activity in my brain, pinpointing abnormalities and providing clues to my condition. The diagnosis of ocular convergence spasms shed light on how deeply the lightning strike had affected me, highlighting a literal misfiring within my nervous system. This health journey was emblematic of my broader struggles to find balance and wellness amid life's unpredictabilities. Managing this condition required not only medical intervention, but also a reevaluation of how I cared for my mental and physical health. Have you ever encountered a health issue that seemed to reflect deeper life stresses? How did you address both the physical symptoms and their emotional counterparts? What strategies have you employed to maintain your health when faced with chronic conditions or unexpected health challenges? Loss of Billy, navigating grief and sustaining faith. At a time when my life was dominated by the struggles of being a dry drunk, searching for something or someone to help fill the emotional voids, I met Billy. He was a man 8 years my junior whose vibrant and carefree spirit promised a brighter, lighter future. We met during a concert at the beach, and his kind and generous nature quickly drew me in. Billy brought joy and hope, which was rare in my life. He became a beacon of what might be possible, showing me a different, happier path that seemed within reach. But in a tragic twist of fate, it was abruptly snatched away, just as I began to lean on this newfound hope. In the blink of an eye, he was gone, killed by a drunk driver. His sudden death was not just a profound shock, but a devastating blow that sent ripples of grief through the fragile stability I was trying to maintain. The loss of Billy plunged me deeper into emotional turmoil. It forced me to confront the reality that no external person or thing could truly fill the deep-seated voids within me. During this profoundly difficult time, my faith was the only thing that kept me from reverting back to destructive habits. More than ever, I clung to my belief in God, a belief that now stood as the sole barrier between me and a drink. This faith became my anchor, holding me steady in the storm of grief and loss. Have you ever placed hope in a new relationship or situation, only to have it unexpectedly taken away? How did you cope with that loss? How have significant losses impacted your journey in recovery or personal growth? How has your faith or core beliefs provided support or been challenged in times of deep personal crisis? As we conclude today's exploration of my journey through professional challenges, tumultuous personal relationships, spiritual seeking, and profound losses, it's evident that the path to self-discovery and transformation is rich with complexity. Each story segment has woven a detailed tapestry of life's highs and lows, showcasing the indomitable spirit needed to navigate through them. Throughout this series, we have witnessed how resilience is not merely encountered, but forged in the fires of adversity. Whether overcoming gender biases in a male-dominated industry, dealing with the intricacies of addiction, or confronting profound loss, each challenge has presented the opportunities for growth and deeper understanding. This journey has illuminated the importance of authenticity, underscored the value of facing fears, and highlighted the transformative power of embracing vulnerabilities. These reflections remind us that although we may not control every aspect of our lives, we have the strength to persevere and the capacity to grow from every experience. Our paths are shaped by our struggles and victories, and often our most profound growth occurs amid our greatest challenges. And so, as we bid farewell to this chapter of our journey, let us carry forward the lessons we have learned, the wisdom we have gained, and the hope that burns brightly within us. For in the end, it is not the destination that matters, but the journey itself, the journey of reclaiming our confident selves and stepping into the light of our true potential. Until next time,